Okay, folks, welcome back. Here we have the USD CHF chart in front of us, and here we're going to be going over a higher time frame outlook as to where I think this particular market could go. But just before we get involved into the video, I just want to make clear that we have a discount code using the code Easter Sale at LiquidFX. So this is 30% off all monthly memberships, all packages for 30% off. Here we offer free one-to-one sessions, a full breakdown of the PDF course, simplified ICT concepts, and daily Q&A sessions to enhance your trading. So if you're interested in that, we have 30% off using the code Easter Sale. So that being said, now let's get cracking with the video. So here we have the USD CHF chart in front of us, and here we start with the weekly time frame. So what we have here on the weekly time frame is structure that's pretty much bearish. So we have structure printing a high, a low, a high, a low. We saw a break of structure to the upside over here, but since then we've come rallying down to create the low. So currently we are dealing, or we're fairly close to what we call the all-time low over here, right? So this is the all-time low. And so how do I look at this chart? So one thing I want to make clear is that it's not the easiest market to be trading at this current moment. And the reason for that is simply because we have a very, 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 very large range over here. So this range over here is quite difficult to trade. And I personally would pick another time frame or simply just another market to trade altogether. But seeing as somebody has requested this market, I'll give my outlooks. So what we have over here, just by looking at this market so far, is that we have a structural high up here. So this is our structural high up here, and this is our structural low down here. So with this being in mind, right, we understand we're bearish in terms of our structure. What we have over here is we have the equilibrium, and anything above the equilibrium we understand is a premium up here, and anything down here we need to understand is a discount. So now, right now, we're hovering in discount, and we're really not going anywhere because we are in this large sort of range over here. So now, what are some things we should be mindful of? Well, we need to be mindful of certain liquidity pools in the market, right? So we have liquidity pools over here in the region of a very, very large trend line over here. So this trend line over here in red is buy side liquidity, right? So this could be a target, right? This could be a target for later on, right? So we could see price head up, seek premium levels, seek premium fair value gaps in this region, sweeping this liquidity over here, right? That's the first thing we could see. Now, the second thing we need to understand is where are the more local liquidity pools, right? Because this could take us months, if not years, to get up to here. But if we look at this range over here, where are the current liquidity pools? Well, there's one that should be fairly obvious to people just by looking at the chart. We have a very, very, very large liquidity pool just over here in the form of equal highs. These are equal highs over here, and so because of that, we could see higher prices seeking some of this liquidity. Okay, so with that being said, where are some of the sell side liquidity points? Because we've looked at buy side liquidity, we need to now look at sell side liquidity as well. So what we have over here in terms of sell side liquidity is that we have this low over here. So this low over here is a liquidity pool. And the reason for that, the reason why this is a liquidity pool that hasn't been swept is because we need to understand how this low has actually behaved. So this low up here has tried to push higher. We've had multiple pushes to the upside, but all of them have failed and have simply generated buy side liquidity or equal highs. And since then, we've seen price rally down lower and lower and lower. So we could indeed see price sweep this liquidity before potentially sweeping this liquidity. This is just a potential scenario. I'm not saying this will happen because this market is very indecisive due to the rangy nature that it's currently giving us, rangy price action, right? So we're in a very large channel. There isn't much we can do from here. If we were to head down to the daily time frame, we can maybe paint a slightly clearer picture just by looking at the markets as a whole. What we have over here is we have again the range. Now this range over here, right, we see price in a sort of demand area over here that's given us a reaction. So again, we have a demand zone over here or a demand point. This demand point over here is what gives us our fair value gap in price. So we see a fair value gap over here. This therefore creates this demand zone over here, right? So how is price reacting at this demand zone, right? So this demand zone saw a reaction over here. So this is where we saw the initial reaction. And since then, we saw price rally up as we'd expect from a bullish POI, right? So we saw price rallying up over here. What did price create from this reaction? So let me just label this. So it's very important to understand. We saw price give a reaction off the bullish POI. So this reaction was given, and since then we saw price fail to actually create anything significant. So we saw price create minor highs over here, but since then we've of course seen this POI. We've seen price crash lower, right, into this POI over here, 1 and 2. So price almost broke this POI over here. It's important to understand price almost broke the POI over here, right? And so because of that, we have this weekly weak low beneath us, right? So this is the weekly weak low, right? So this here is a weak low as it failed to make a new high. Okay, so just by looking at this on the daily time frame, what we have over here, if we mark out our most recent structure, is we have a structure high over here and a structure low, structure high, structure low, structure high, and now we have a structure low. So we're currently dealing from this range over here, right? So we have a structural high, which is all the way up here, and we have a structural low, which is all the way down here. So with that being said, our PD arrays are as such, right? So we have a swing high, which is all the way up here, sorry, and we have a swing low, which is all the way down here. And so because of that, now that we're in a premium, we could very much see price turn around from here, right? And target this weak low as we've basically or almost broken this demand zone, this daily demand zone over here, right? So because of that, what's my overall outlooks for this very indecisive market, right? We understand that we're in a premium. We're in a daily premium, right? We're in a daily premium. This premium has left a fair value gap and therefore a POI in this region over here. So price now has actually technically violated that POI, as you can see. But overall from this region, what I am looking for is for price to give somewhat of a bearish reaction from here, right? Potentially seeking lower prices, right? But just ultimately not even breaking this low necessarily and just continuing on with some kind of a range, right? I really don't know where this market's going to go. Not the greatest video, not the most informative video because of the simple nature that this market is ranging significantly, right? So it's important to understand where the liquidity pools are and just work from there. We have a trend line that's formed just over here with the 1 tap, 2 tap, and 3 tap. So we have triple taps over here, which gives sell side liquidity, right? So price is well within its right, well within its probabilistic means to, right, give us a bearish reaction from here, sweep some of this liquidity, and then continue higher. Okay, but overall, this market is quite indecisive and I'm not quite sure where it's going to go. So I hope this video helps the people who are interested in this pair and I look forward to seeing you all in the next one for a much more decisive market.